90-day fiancé's Julia Trubkina continues to mourn son after leaving America without Brandon. Julia Trubkina from 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After? Recently shared an emotional experience of reuniting with her beloved dog, whom she affectionately referred to as her son. Originally from Russia, Julia moved to the United States to marry Brandon Gibbs. The couple has been married for nearly 5 years, but their relationship hasn't been perfect. They even underwent therapy to address their marital issues surrounding parenthood and relocating Julia's parents to the U.S. In the midst of navigating these challenges, they were devastated by the loss of their beloved dog, Simba, in May 2025. While coping with the loss of her dog, Julia recently reunited with her family members in Belgrade, Serbia. However, Brandon was noticeably missing from her family pictures. Despite being busy spending time with her family, Julia continues to hold on to memories of her beloved dog. She recently posted an Instagram story recounting a dream in which her dog, Simba, was still trying to protect her from a bear. In her message, Julia expressed, "Last night I saw you in my dream for the first time in a month and a half since you were gone. And even in my dream you tried to protect me from a bear and I tried to protect you." What Julia Trubkina trying to protect Simba in dreams means. Julia is overflowing with maternal love to share. It was a monumental change for Julia when she first moved to the United States from Russia. As a city girl and a go-go dancer, she was accustomed to a fast-paced, urban lifestyle. However, Julia had to adjust to a very different way of life when she began living on Brandon's parents' farm in Virginia. Taking care of farm animals wasn't what she had anticipated for her American life. During those challenging times, she had her dog, Simba, with her as a loyal companion. Even when Brandon didn't always understand her, Julia found comfort in Simba's unconditional presence. Over the last 5 years, Julia cared for Simba as if he were her own son. However, his absence has left a deep void in her life, along with a great deal of maternal love. It's possible that Julia dreamed of protecting him because she lacked opportunities to express her affection and emotions in reality. She is still coming to terms with the loss of her dog, perhaps reflecting on what more she could have done to save him. In her dream, she may have felt guilty and helpless, believing she could have done more for him. Our take on Julia Trubkina continuing to mourn Simba. Julia and Simba had a special connection. In April 2025, Julia's dog began battling an illness that ultimately led to his passing in May. Even though more than a month has passed since she lost her beloved pet, her grief remains strong. To Julia, Simba wasn't just a pet but a true friend with whom she shared a unique and deeply emotional bond. It isn't unusual for her to still dream about him after his passing. The 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After? Cast member is slowly beginning to heal, with Brandon by her side to provide support and love. 90-Day Fiancé's Julia Trubkina leaves America without Brandon after losing son. 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After? Star Julia Trubkina is no longer in the U.S. following the untimely death of her family member. Julia is from Russia but was working in South Korea when she was introduced to Brandon Gibbs. Julia came to America on 90DF Season 8 to marry Brandon and has since lived in Virginia. Julia often expressed displeasure with her living situation, commenting things like, "I go Russia" during arguments with Brandon. Immediately after her being announced as a 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After? Season 9 cast member, Julia, seems to have finally returned home. Brandon didn't agree with Julia's parents coming to America on the last resort, but this time, she went to them instead. Meet my family. Julia surprised her Instagram followers with a post featuring her and her family members from Belgrade, Serbia. Julia wrote, "I think only I can bring people together who haven't communicated with each other for years," as a caption for the photos showing her posing with her parents and sibling. Julia appeared happy in the pictures after spending the last few weeks grieving the death of her dog Simba. However, Julia's followers couldn't help but notice that Brandon was not a part of these family photos. When _SNSestaging asked, "Where is Brandon?" Julia didn't respond. What Julia leaving the US? Without Brandon to meet family means. Has Julia left America for good? Julia moved to America in 2020 and married Brandon that April. It was revealed that her parents were divorced and couldn't get along. They constantly argued and couldn't even be in the same room together. Despite this, Julia still hoped they could visit her in the US. She longed to see them, but faced resistance from Brandon, who strongly opposed the idea. He made a big deal out of their potential visit, causing tension between them. Undeterred, Julia went behind Brandon's back and applied for her parents' visas without telling him, determined to reunite with them. It seems Julia's parents planned to visit the US on a tourist visa, but Brandon opposed the idea. Fans speculated his reluctance stemmed from not wanting them to stay long-term or move in, potentially adding stress to his already strained marriage. Brandon may have suspected the visit was a trial run for permanent relocation, especially if Julia hoped her parents would help raise a future child. He also likely feared being financially responsible for them, further complicating his life. Their presence could have intensified existing tensions in the relationship. Our take on Julia sparking split rumors with Brandon again amid son's death. Will Julia and Brandon's marriage survive the latest setback? Julia gave up on the idea of becoming a mother after a doctor told her she'd never have a baby due to health complications. Though Brandon urged her to seek a second opinion, Julia didn't seem interested and instead embraced being a pet parent. The sudden loss of her dog Simba to a stroke deeply affected her mental health. She may have flown to see her family to cope with the grief of losing her son. However, it's unclear why Brandon didn't join her or whether this new strain will feature in their 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. Storyline point 90-Day Fiancé, where does Julia Trubkina live now? What happened to her parents' move from Russia to the US? Mina hasn't reunited with Clayton and more facts about Mark and Mina's lives after 90-Day Fiancé season 11. Mark Bassett and Mina Mack have found joy in their marriage following their appearance in 90-Day Fiancé Season 11. Mark, a 58-year-old from New Hampshire, crossed paths with Mina, a 35-year-old single mother, in Paris. Their initial connection blossomed into a loving relationship despite their significant 23-year age gap. Mark and Mina were inseparable for nearly 2 years despite the challenges of a long-distance relationship. Over time, their bond grew stronger, leading to an official engagement. In 2022, their family expanded with the arrival of a daughter, Maria. Like other couples in 90-Day Fiancé Season 11, Mark and Mina encountered many challenges on their path to marriage. Mark worked on repairing his strained relationship with his daughter, Jordan, while Mina had to address accusations from Mark's family members who believed she was a gold digger. Mina also struggled with the fact that her son, Clayton, from a previous relationship, couldn't come with her to the United States, leading her to consider getting married without him. Ultimately, Mark and Mina did marry on the show, and in the last episode, Mina humorously suggested that she might be pregnant. Is Mina still living in the US? Mina may not have returned to Paris. Mina was deeply upset about not being able to reunite with her son in the United States, leaving 90-Day Fiancé viewers to wonder if she would return to Paris. However, it seems that Mina hasn't yet made the move. In June 2025, Mina posted a photo of herself with her husband and daughter. She tagged her current location as New Hampshire, revealing she was still in the United States. Mina used the post to congratulate her husband, Mark, and wish him a happy Father's Day for being an excellent dad and amazing husband. Did Mina reunite with her son, Clayton? Clayton's visa issues remain unresolved. Mina has been working to obtain a visa for her son to come to the United States, but hasn't been successful yet. In May 2025, Mark shared an update about the delay in Clayton's visa process. He shared a photo of Mina and her son, talking about the current situation. Mark wrote, "The work to get Clayton to the USA is coming together, showing optimism that his stepson will soon be in the US." Mark also mentioned that the adoption process will start once Clayton arrives in the USA, confirming that he'll be Clayton's legal father once he's here. Mark and Mina's love continues to blossom. Mina admires Mark as an outstanding father figure. The significant age difference between Mark and Mina may suggest they aren't well suited for each other, but they are actually one of the most romantic couples of 90 Day Fiancé. Their shared goals and personalities have played a major role in the growth of their love over the past 3 years. They appear to be creating a strong family unit together. Mark has defended Mina in front of his family, and she has successfully built a positive relationship with her in-laws. In the final episode, Mark's daughter acknowledged Mina's potential and predicted a successful marriage between her and her father. Over the past few months, Mina and Mark have posted many social media posts showcasing their healthy marriage. In June 2025, Mina shared photos of herself, Mark, and their lovely family. She wrote a caption in French, "Tues attention, drôle, fort, tendre exactement le père dont ils ont besoin et il homme que j'admire beaucoup," which translates to, "You are caring, funny, strong, tender, exactly the father they need, and the man I admire a lot." Mark and Mina admire each other for different reasons. They had a beautiful wedding on 90 Day Fiancé and are now happily married.